Welcome to Public Comment. I'm John Dunbar, former mayor of Yountville.
And I'm Alfredo Pedroza, vintner.
I'm Kelly Carter, founder of Napa Valley Noir, unofficial mayor of Yountville, New York Times bestselling author, and a communications consultant.
He's just showing off now. But we're here to talk about politics, people, and whatever else Kelly wants.
Now I know who really runs Yountville, John.
That's why I had to get out.
Yes.
She's doing a great job.
Thank you.
I moved in, John left.
That's right.
I don't want to live anywhere where tourists don't want to
A
go.
real need to create experiences.
What more can wine do to make sure that it's reaching across all segments of our
To
community?
be able to share that experience is part of the charm of it all. So, Alfredo, as I try to relight this cigar, one of the things that has been in the news the last few days is about the status of Stanley Ranch.
Yeah, I commend that group for taking a risk, right, of trying to create a magical experience in Napa Valley. And it was disappointing. It was disappointing to see that they're in jeopardy for $230 million. And I hope there's a path forward there. But the reason I wanted to talk about it, John, because this community just thinks things happen automatically, that people can pay their bills automatically, that people are going to invest hundreds of millions of dollars automatically. It's not. It comes with huge risk. And the fact that you have a hotel owner, developer, not being able to pay their bills at that scale should alarm this community, right? So next time, instead of fighting development, think about the consequences of it. They employ people, they pay wages, they pay property tax, they pay revenue, they pay sales tax. And here we are, a premium spot in Napa Valley being in jeopardy, John. Like, that's what's at stake.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to see people that almost seem to be celebrating it on social media where they're like, see, we told you. And those aren't people that have ever really invested in this valley. They just criticize.
Well, and look, if they did bad business decisions, that's separate, right, from a business model.
And we don't
perspective.
know exactly
Correct.
what the circumstances
to be fair,
are.
We don't know the specifics. But we should not be celebrating. Like, this community is so privileged that we have people that are willing to invest $230 million in the Napa Valley. Like, that's what's at stake. That means there's bankers that are at risk. That means there's personal money at risk, John. And we should be a little bit more introspect and say, what can Napa do differently? Not knowing the specifics, but we should be encouraging success, not failure. And I'm not saying universally people are encouraging failure, but we should own some of it in terms of what this community has done maybe to make the barriers and the costs more expensive.
What I find is kind of interesting and definitely ironic is we sit here talking about it as one of the biggest investments and developments in the city of Napa downtown is happening literally as we speak. And it shows that people still want to invest and are committed to supporting business and life here in Napa.
We need to continue to encourage the blessings that we have, right, which is economic development and people being willing to invest real money in this community. And what I saw from that story is it's not always an automatic. Right?
It's true.
So we should pause and think about it.
Cheers. Kelly, welcome. Or should I say Mayor Carter?
Well, it's unofficial.
Okay. Thank you.
There are probably 10 unofficial mayors in Yountville, right?
That's too many.
That's right. But welcome. I'm really excited to have you here to have a great conversation. Alfredo, I just know with Kelly's background, we've known each other for a number of years, and she's lived the most incredible, colorful, entertaining life. It's going to make you feel really, sad.
Because I'm drinking the wine you brought? Or what do you mean? Give me some color and context to this, John.
You need to achieve, man.
No, I've peaked already. But let's hear about Kelly, though. 'Cause
I know,
I
right?
think it's going to be a great episode. So
Thank you both for having me on. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome.
I know it's been a long time coming. You've been trying to get me on, and I was busy, and I couldn't, and finally it all worked out.
You're in demand.
Oh, yeah, right.
But if you could just share with our audience a little bit about your background, and I know that I know a lot about it, but share some of the highlights and kind of where you started your journey and how you ended up here in the Napa Valley.
Well, I was born at 11:03 p.m. on November. Oh, you want me to speed it up some?
If that's one of your highlights.
No, I'm from Los Angeles. I was born and raised in Los Angeles. Went to USC.
Lakers fan?
Yes. Of
I have
course.
a feeling you're going to hear a little more about that in your career path.
That's fine. I appreciate the Lakers too.
Yeah. Yeah. Showtime.
That's
Grew
right.
up on the Showtime era. So, and moved to, I decided actually early on to become a sports writer and became the first female to cover the Lakers and covered sports for 11 years and then changed to entertainment and then luxury travel writing and just worked my way up in sports journalism. Iowa City Press Citizen, Pittsburgh Press, Dallas Morning News, Orange County Register, USA Today, on air for CNN. So I really paid my dues and didn't mind doing that either because it really, gave me a great background.
Were you an athlete yourself when you were young? And is that how you got that bug
Depends
for
who
the
you
sports?
ask. Now, I do think I did play. My mother's brothers, I didn't play that well. I didn't play. I played everything up until maybe 11th grade.
Uh-huh.
And when I was in junior high, I ran track, I played softball, I played volleyball, I played basketball. By the time I got to high school, I really only played basketball. But I was a statistician for the boys team. My brother's 15 months older than me. And so I always hung out with them and everything. And so by the time I got to the 12th grade, I was done covering sport. I was done playing sports. I just wanted to write about sport.
But
Really?
incredible to grow up in that area, being into sports yourself, and then having the opportunity that you did to get into professional sports and writing. And then, as you were saying, all those different sectors as you went forward. But I know everyone that lives in California, the US, really the world, knows the kind of culture and climate you were in the middle of. It's pretty unique.
Was very unique. And when I was in college, talking in the 80s, I know I don't look that old.
Let's not talk about those things.
Yeah. And one of my professors, Felix Gutierrez, said, Kelly, you should double major in something and don't focus only on sports. And there really aren't that many female sports writers, and you need to look at doing something else. And I said, nope. I'm going to cover the Lakers and I'm going to be a sports writer. And Dr. Gutierrez, he came up to me at homecoming several years ago. He's like, I know I was wrong about you. And he said, you used to come to class. You had these long red fingernails. I don't know how you typed with them. And I'm like, yeah.
But how was that though, Kelly? Because I think that's awesome, right? Like, I think we all face moments in our lives where you have those that are on the sideline telling you what to do,
Right.
but you had purpose and passion. So
Yeah.
how was that like?
Well, I just always knew what I wanted to do. When I was 9 years old, I told my mother that I was going to become a journalist.
You told at 9 years old?
At 9 years old. And she challenged me to spell journalist, and I spelled it correctly, and she believed me. And so with that, I don't know why. Probably some of that comes from the area I grew up in. I grew up in Windsor Hills, and my neighbors there were a lot of doctors. The area is nicknamed the Pill, Pill, because it had so many doctors, and we're all Black doctors. And this was in the 60s, and it was white flight. So we moved into the home that Myron Florin lived in. He was a band leader for Lawrence Welk. And my neighbors were Ike and Tina Turner, Ray Charles. And so it was a very well-to-do neighborhood. But it was success all around me. So that's what I grew up with. Yeah. I never thought I couldn't do anything because we didn't grow up. My mother never said anything bad about anybody of any race. And so I can't say I didn't really face racism growing up. I do remember in our elementary school that we tested really well. Everybody tested well. And there was a big article about how did all these little Black kids test so well? It was like unheard of.
So in the school you went to, was it predominantly Black kids?
Yes. And it was just a neighborhood school, Windsor Hills Elementary School. And we had one Asian girl in class and maybe one Caucasian girl, but it was predominantly Black.
That's I did not anticipate talking about this, but I think that's so cool because the power of the mind.
Yeah.
Right. And just a quick example, when I was running for office, it was opposite. My parents felt like we were not good enough and coming from a Latino background, but they only had a 6th grade education.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't judge them. I just knew that their ability to think and dream was limited based off how they grew up.
Right.
And now we talk about with our kids, right? It's like, you can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
And believe it. And I have a daughter, who's hanging out with her, her brother's teammates. Cause when you're talking about hanging out with your brothers, I'm like, that's cool. But it's so different how you grow up in different generations and different times. But the power of the mind is something that's always stood out to me.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it. So the fact that you had that at that time, kudos to your parents.
Yeah.
Right. For being
And
able
really a single mother, because my dad died of emphysema when I was 6 years old.
That was your mom.
So it was really
Hell of
my
a
mom.
person.
Yeah. Working 3 jobs too.
It does not surprise me at all that you had that self-confidence as young as you were, because I've always known from the first time I met you, think it was when you were at Alpha Omega, and I could tell you were just so confident, and you presented yourself with that confidence. It's like, she's a badass. It's like, don't mess with her.
I would have voted for Kelly instead of you if I lived in Yalva. Just to be clear, in case you were wondering.
Full disclosure, I tried to talk her into joining the town council.
He did. He
And-
did.
So
I was so honored when you came to me and asked me to do that, because we see the same thing as far as tourism goes. Not everybody's a proponent of the changes that have gone on in Napa Valley, and in particular Yountville. And me, it's how come I wanted to move to Yountville. And it reminds me of Positano. And I lived in Positano for 15 months during my 2 years in Italy. And I don't want to live anywhere where tourists don't want to come.
So your business. So tell us, because I'm very curious about, you get to greet people and create magical experiences, right? In Napa Valley and Sonoma, but more Napa Valley.
The good ones are in Napa Valley.
So what is it? So tell us about your business, and how do you go about getting people or creating these magical experiences in the Valley?
And some customers find me. So it's a luxury concierge business that I launched in 2024.
Wow.
And basically what I did was take all of my experiences from being a luxury travel editor and having traveled to nearly 50 countries, and knowing how luxury is presented, learning what I did about hospitality during my 7 years as director of communications at Alpha Omega, and seeing how things were presented, the eye for marketing that Michelle Baggett has, like an eye like crazy, Robin being so hospitable to all the guests and everything, and seeing how that really makes people feel. So I knew I wanted to do something like that for my own business, as well as for the increasing number of Black visitors who are coming to Napa. And at the same time I was launching my business was the same time that Visit Napa Valley put out its numbers, and the numbers of Black African Americans, or Black Americans, or Black African Americans had tripled. But I didn't see that people were really reaching out to them, showing them another side of Napa Valley as far as dinners and wine caves, lunches and vineyards, access to winery owners and winemakers. And
so I want to make sure, Napa Valley Noir.
Yes.
We didn't say the official name. I want to make sure we get that out there. And so how is it being a business owner, a sole proprietor?
Yes.
As well as navigating times, because if you had launched this 10 years ago, the wine industry was in a very different place, and the world was in a very different place. And so you bring all of these life experiences from Italy, from all the other places you traveled around the world, and then you decide, I'm going to be a business owner, and I'm going to provide unique experiences that you would want to experience as a traveler.
Right.
And is it what you expected, or did you really, are you still learning as you go, or kind of what is that experience? Because I'm sure a lot of people would love to do that and just don't feel the confidence to pull it off.
Well, it's not an easy job right out of the back. I mean, it's kind of easy and it's not. There's a lot of communication with the clients and it's a lot of back and forth. I just had back-to-back clients. And you asked how people find me. So one group found me I was referred by a friend. And the other group, they found me through Google. And so people find me on Instagram, social media, and some of it's references.
Clearly, it's going to be from the Public Comment podcast now.
I
I
think
mean, you're going to
so.
have a spike.
I know.
A huge spike.
In fact, if anyone wants to come work for me, because I know after this show, I'm going to be so busy that I'm going to have to hire 5 people.
I was just thinking about John as a client, how hard that would be.
No, I don't want that. Well, I got one client. It was.
How dare you?
You're
right.
He was referred by a mutual friend, And I get on the phone with the guy, and he's arriving in a few days. So it's like, oh my gosh, I usually like to have a month's notice. And he's a doctor, and he's coming to speak at a convention here in Napa. He lives in Texas, drinks a lot of wine. I get on
Love
the
it.
phone with him. I said, oh, so you love Napa's big red cabs, right? He said, no, I hate them. It's okay. So we've got,
So let's back up.
yes.
White wine.
What do you like? And, and it was really curating a day of tasting around that.
I want to ask you about something because you mentioned kind of
I
reaching.
think we need a drink.
Oh, I agree.
I know. I'm like smelling the wine. I can
gee.
smell the aromas. What are we
This is-
drinking?
This is Blanquier
Blanquier.
from Yomp
2019. Yes.
2019.
Blanquier is hidden behind Dominus
Yes.
in the Western
Oh.
Hills.
Two
Beautiful.
very difficult wine. Well, Dominus, you can't get
Yeah.
in. Okay. I have friends going there.
You know people. You
Well,
are people.
No. I have friends going there in 2 days without me.
Ooh.
To Dominus? Or
Yes.
Okay.
I met the owner. I met Christian in
Yeah.
Lavender.
Oh.
If anyone needs a manicure and pedicure and gossip too, you can go to Lavender in
Good to know.
Yountville.
Well, if I remember correctly,
Aren't you supposed to sip? Otherwise, it's bad luck, right?
Yeah, John,
Yeah.
come
Come
on. You should know better.
so if I remember correctly, Claude Blanquier had a very successful business in the stonewash jeans industry.
Oh,
That worked out for him.
it sounds like it.
Yes.
I didn't know how he made his money.
Nor
Yeah.
did I. But I want to get back to the
You can
topic.
put him on your
at
preferred list.
hand. John, you got to be more structured.
we're
here,
going
John. I know, but I'm
Sideways.
Here, I'm
That's
here
a
for
whole
you.
nother.
But you
That's
kind of mentioned, Kelly, about kind of within the Black community of reaching out, and I'm just curious, right? Of because I think Napa being more welcoming and accepting and creating experiences is beneficial for all,
Right.
right? But within the Latino community, it's hard,
Mhm.
right? Because the Latino community culturally they look at ag as a place of work,
Right.
not a place of leisure, right? And my uncles, they were farm workers, but they grew up
Sorry,
drinking.
Douglas.
I saw that bug; it was
I
everywhere.
know. It's like I'm trying not to hit it.
But my uncles, in a moment of celebration, they drink tequila, not
Mhm.
wine. So I'm curious about, as you reach out to your clients, how is wine being perceived, and what more can wine do
Mhm.
to make sure that it's reaching across all segments of our community populations? I'm super curious about that.
Well, the prices can come down for one. Okay.
Check one.
Check
Yeah.
one. I just posted something a couple of days ago on Instagram, and I says, my lucky night sitting at the bar at Rutherford Grill. The guy who sits down next to me orders a $550 bottle of 2018 La Jolla, and he's by himself. And so, of course, he shared it with me and everything. But $550. I know, Chris Carpenter, I love you, but
That's a lot of money.
The wines are a lot.
Yeah.
And it's, we sat there, we drank the wine. He shared it with a couple of other people, and that was it. And then you go piss it out and
Yeah.
you go to sleep. And
That's a cycle of life.
But yeah, full circle right
Yeah.
there. Well, remember when we had Grant Long on a few episodes ago, and he had spent all summer basically out promoting his two wine brands and talked about, the best bottle of wine is the one you share.
Right.
And so that was that experience.
Mhm.
It's almost lonely if you're opening a bottle of wine. It's not so lonely if you're having dinner on your own. That's what people do sometimes. But
Right.
But to be able to share that experience is part of the charm of it all.
It really is. I mean, sharing, I don't always like to share all of my wine, but no.
Nor does John.
Only a fair portion.
You don't like to share, John.
One sip for you, two for me.
Yeah.
And no, but really, Jean Hofliger, who was founding winemaker at Alpha Omega, and he would always say the same bottle of wine tastes different with a friend than it does with an enemy. And it's so true. And it probably tastes different even if you're alone or drinking it with friends. It's all about those memories that you create, which is what we always have to do in Napa Valley and Sonoma.
Well, and we are seeing a real need to create experiences. And
Yeah.
that's really, core to what you're doing. It's not just about go to these 4 places, you're going to get 2 ounces of these 5 different wines, and then we're going to put you on the bus and move on to the next spot.
Right.
It's about the personal connection. It's kind of going retro in some ways to the early days of Napa Valley when the winemaker or the winery owner, who might have been the same person, was the person that was sharing
What's the human
the wine.
interaction? Right? It's
Absolutely.
a
And-
relationship.
but also the memories that people are going home with. You could see wine on a shelf in a supermarket or a big box store, and it means nothing to you.
Sonoma wine.
Or international wine, but not Napa Valley wine. Of course, you want
Personal,
that.
John. Yeah.
But then there's not a story with it. There's not a connection. You might try it because the label looks nice. I mean, I know you're going through, what do you want your label of your own family brand to look like? And because you want it to mean something. And for people that drink it to feel that kind of passion that you put in the bottle.
It's a connection to the bottle, right? But also, I think a question for Kelly could be too, John, is as people are coming to the Valley, they have this expectation.
Very
Right.
high expectation
But-
because they're paying a lot.
So how do you go about delivering on that, right? So they're
Re-
satisfied.
Really, first of all, not telling them any of the surprises that are coming. You don't want to overpromise. You just want them to be surprised all the time. And so I just had clients, the ones who left, they were in Sonoma. I'm sorry, I hate to use that.
I know.
that word.
There's one
But you know
winery.
what?
I have some friends in Sonoma. One.
When I went out to meet them, I always make sure I go meet my client. So that's one thing I always do. And because I want to see them face to face. And when I went to meet them in Healdsburg on Friday, and they had a free day the next day on Saturday, and rain was in the forecast. I said, "What are you guys going to do?" "Oh, I don't know." Because all I had booked them dinner at Salt and Stone in Kenwood, which I love that
Yeah.
restaurant. And they're like, "Oh, maybe we'll come to Napa." And it's like 6 p.m. on Friday. And I said, "Okay, what are you going to do in Napa?" "I don't know. What do you suggest?" I'm like, so I get to work.
You start to sweat a little bit.
So I booked them, tasting reservation. They want brunch, and I get that booked. Send an email to the tasting room manager. He's like, "I got you, Kelly." Well, he always gives my clients a complimentary cheese and charcuterie tray. I'm like, "Thank you." And so those are like little things but it's like interesting. They still wanted to come to Napa, even though,
Love
they
it.
rented a home in
Warms
Sonoma.
my heart.
the true wine country experience they had to have.
I have one good friend in Sonoma that has a good winery. That's it.
So how are you, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, but it's just making those calls, like book them at Good Night Steakhouse on the Plaza in Healdsburg, where David Lawrence is a chef.
Yeah.
And he's Chef 1300 Fillmore. And so I know him and his wife, Monetta. So I text David, "Hey, are you going to be in 2 nights? I have
That's awesome.
clients coming. Can you come out and say hi?" "Yeah, sure. Love to." I said, "Perfect." And so those are little things, even when a lot of people are doing their trips on AI now or social media. Sonoma County just released its LU, Life
What is it?
Opens Up. So the acronym for that, and it's an AI-powered concierge.
Who released the county?
Sonoma County
Sonoma County Tourism.
tourism office. So you can type in what you want, and it'll put your itinerary
it, yeah.
together. Yes. And so I tried it out today, and it got some things right, but didn't really failed on the part when I said, "Oh, are there any Black-owned businesses that we can go to because we like to support them?"
Yeah.
And it gave me the names of 3 Black-owned restaurants, but completely dropped the ball when it came to Black-owned wineries.
Yeah.
And said, "Okay, Papa Pietro Winery, it's not Black-owned, but they embrace diversity, and go to Association of African American Vintners for others." And
So it's learning.
it's
it sounds
learning,
like,
but it missed the ball
but it
on
doesn't
there's
know
Fog
yet.
Crest, which is owned by Rosalind. Rosalind's the first Black woman in Sonoma County to own a winery. She has a beautiful vineyard in Sebastopol. Overshine Wine Company, where my clients went. David Drummond, who was a chief legal officer at Google, he owns that winery, and he has quite a few vineyards that he's been
They've had quite
snapping up.
some media coverage lately as well.
It's such a kickback place. My clients were so happy. So I met them there after I sent them to 2 other wineries that day and had a driver for them. And their last stop before dinner was Overshine. And I didn't know that a lady who I know is now working there. So it was great to see her. But they've got all this vinyl. So you can just play all the music you want, but they've got a beautiful swimming pool. It's a lovely
kickback.
estate in Hillsburg. And they were there for 3 hours.
Well, it's so impressive that you have been able to build up this much of a network that
Yes.
you can rely on,
Yeah.
especially across the 2 counties.
Right.
And, I know it's sacrilegious to not embrace Sonoma and Napa counties together. If we were in Italy, you go from one region to another and you don't care,
Right.
frankly. I thought it made more sense. And maybe I'm biased because my wife she grew up in Healdsburg
Mhm.
and has many friends, including some in the wine industry and leadership of the wine
Tread
industry.
lightly, John. I don't like where this is going right now.
It is easier to get to Sonoma than Calistoga if you're coming from Napa. So,
Caleb, make sure you edit all that out, please. Leave that in there for the record.
anyway, this is what Kelly does.
And there's an airport.
We have beautiful
Which
airports.
is
Let's
nice.
get back to the
Well,
subject,
we do
John.
have, but thankfully now you can get to Napa, flying Jet Suite X
Yeah,
and
which is a
Aero.
wonderful thing.
They're doing
I
an
know.
amazing
Which is great.
transformation of the Napa Airport.
Let me ask
Yeah.
Kelly a question because you were on this Sonoma Love Fest and it was making me sick. But Kelly, you talked about being able to text a chef, and I think that personal touch is so important.
Right. And those are
And AI
things.
can't do that,
No, they cannot do that.
right?
And that's what's going to really help always the concierge business and keep people coming back to Napa.
Well, I've been hearing and seeing some articles that are of the opinion that the travel, destination travel agents are one of those professions at high risk. But I don't think people understand that might be a basic travel where if I'm going to Google it on my own, I might not know some of the places to look for, but there's definitely more that you can provide knowing, because frankly, it's trying to find all the algorithms that tell them what the best places are. Every time somebody asks me, where should I go? It's like, well, what do you like?
What do you like? Exactly. And also just going that extra mile. I mean, my clients who arrived to Santa Rosa, I always give my clients gifts. And I don't know when I'm going to give them to them, but I decided with
How about a
these-
bottle of his wine that's
Yeah.
yet to be released?
It's great.
I think
Sold
that'd
out.
be very generous
That
of
would
you.
be very generous.
Well, I love what you're going to do is, sell it wholesale and go to the
You
restaurant.
heard about
And
the model.
buy
It's a
it.
great model.
I'm like, oh yeah. How long are you going to do that?
I want
for?
you to mark your dollar bills, pay in cash, and see if you get those back.
That's one concept. But it's about sharing.
It is.
It's about sharing, which is where you were going
It
with
is
this.
sharing.
Right.
And going back to the subject, not of my flawed business model, but of how important that is. So, right. And like, we love to go to certain restaurants, John, because we know people.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that you have to constantly know people, Kelly, and you have to invest time in people on the front end.
Right.
So that way, when you text call, they're there for you.
Yes.
And I think people don't see that that side of your business.
They
That's so
really
hard.
don't. I don't get every client that reaches out to me, every person. Not everyone's going to say yes. And I'm not cheap. I'm not in Sonoma. I'm in Napa. I'm not cheap. No.
You're worth it.
And I'm worth it. But one guy said to me, he said, wait. He said, this is what you're charging. You're making reservations. I'm like, that's your mentality. Your $5 mentality.
And you graciously say,
yes,
I hope that you find what you're looking for.
have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Because people don't know the extra steps that I'm going to go through, the beautiful itineraries that I spend time doing, and just trying to anticipate things. So last week, my clients were going to be arriving SFO at 9:30 p.m.,
Oof.
renting a car and driving to their home rental in Santa Rosa, off of Mark Springs. So
Ooh.
dark.
Yeah.
So I went over. I got access to the home from them. I told them I was going to leave gifts, but I said there was nothing in their house. I stocked the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I had food there waiting for them, and
That
That puts smiles on their face the moment they walk in the door.
They said they stayed up until 2 a.m. eating everything that
Yeah,
I
that's awesome.
brought.
But that's what you and I would do. I would expect you to do it.
I would do it all, of
I
course.
know you would. But to me, that though, I think AI is here for a reason and a purpose, but it's not going to replace those moments, right? That human touch that's so needed, especially as a tourism economy. it's the extra touch
Right.
that I think separates us from a lot of other regions.
And it's looking for those extra touches from the wineries as well.
Yeah.
So they were very pleased with, I'm going to mention the name because they did a great job, with Lambert Bridge in Sonoma. And they had menus with their names on them. One was celebrating a milestone birthday. It had that on there. They brought the winemaker out to meet the ladies. They bought wine.
Yeah.
And they said, that's how come we bought wine.
You remember that.
And that's what we're
and
hearing.
So people have to do that at
Right.
these wineries. I'm not going to say the name of one winery I deal with here. And so can you please just create a menu that has their name on it? They're paying $200 per person for this food wine experience.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful one. I love sending people here, but I need them to feel a little bit more special.
Right. And so are you hearing from people about their perceptions of Napa Valley?
Yes.
And is it consistent, or does it depend on where they're coming from? Or,
No,
and
it's
also
just the thing
from
is
first timers to very seasoned wine consumers.
And there's a lot of first timers coming here because Napa Valley is now a bucket list destination for so many people. But there's a lot of interest in coming here, but not everybody can afford it.
Right.
They're blown away by the hotel prices. I always encourage my clients to rent transportation. And some like to say, the younger ones are just like, no, I'll do Uber and Lyft. I said, but I want to send you up in the hills.
And you won't get a ride back.
And you might get up there. I can't guarantee you're going to make it down in time to go to your next stop. Maybe they'll come and get you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So some of the younger clients I have been able to talk into, paying another $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a day, for
But you're still seeing
transportation.
people relatively new to the wine experience in their life. They're still coming here.
Oh, yes. They want to come here.
Love it.
The Black food, Chef Mimi, who's put on the Black food and wine experience, and she's bringing it to Napa next year. It'll be the 9th annual one, first time in Napa. So she brought me on as a concierge partner because she realizes all these other years she's had it, she's never been able to service VIPs. And so she said, can you service like the VVIPs? So I'm curating experiences for them. Just about, I would say 80% of the people, maybe even 90% are first timers to Napa.
Wow.
That's awesome to hear.
They want to come here. And this place is going to bring 3,000 people here next June.
Okay. I think we have a live remote opportunity.
I'm going to drink wine. No matter
So
where
it's
we go.
really a chance for Napa Valley vintners to get in front of customers they're not getting in front of otherwise. Wine lovers, they're going to be here for the first time.
I think it's an incredible opportunity.
And that's what the thing now is, how do we keep bringing people into Napa? The baby boomers they're dying and people are not.
Hey, I'm a little sensitive.
Me too.
Getting real close.
I'm a baby boomer.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's exciting to think forward, right? Of how do you remain attractive and how do you remain engaged,
right,
with first timers?
With the first timers, but you still have to remember your core, your bread and butter. Well, the people who are really paying a lot, and that's why you have Visit Napa Valley doing the Napa Valley Standard in November.
Yeah.
Right.
And, to compete with the Pebble Beach Food and Wine, just to show that, okay, we do still have this luxury market. And there are people who will pay.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God.
Well, we're more the bread and olive oil than the bread and butter. Yeah.
That's true. All right.
So I don't want to miss an opportunity to talk to you about your writing.
Yes.
And I know that you've written a book.
I've written 2 books.
2 books, and you're writing another.
I'm writing 2 more.
Oh my gosh. See?
John.
Twice as good as I thought.
Yeah. One is never enough, right? My first
so you're going to do
book,
4. Okay.
Right,
and
right.
maybe more.
Yeah, my first book was a New York Times bestseller, which was amazing to reach that accolade with my first book, but I co-authored with Venus Williams, so I can't say it was all me. I just did the hard work on it, but it was Venus.
You're dragging her along.
I'm dragging her along,
I can relate.
And, and I'm not a ghostwriter, so my name is there.
I think he just offended me.
It took you a while to catch on.
Well,
Let's move on. Hey, it's Kelly. This is about Kelly, John. Stop making it about yourself, Kelly. Go ahead. Some
And so
books.
the second book was called The Dog Lover's Guide to Travel. And it was on the best destinations in the US and Canada, a vacation with your dog. Napa was one of them. And in fact, it was from that book when I started writing it. And the people in Sonoma, introduced me to Jean Charles.
Oh, yes.
And that's how I met Jean Charles. And he's become such a great friend. But he used to sell the book at Raymond Vineyards
Awesome.
and stuff. And so, yeah, but that was one of the reasons I got connected to Napa.
And what are you working on now?
So
and what
the
do you
other,
see as your other?
my memoir called Bellini for One, which I've been working on for years and years and years. And that's really centered around my 2 years spent in Italy. But it comes all the way full circle to Napa because it wasn't enough just to leave it in Italy. But it's one of the reasons I came to Napa is because of my love for Italy.
Awesome.
I think they should read the book.
Absolutely.
And then I'm writing a book called After I Said Ah. And one
Your
day,
personal experience.
yes. So one day at the doctor's office, I said, ah, and the lady said, what's that on the roof of your mouth? How long has that been there? It was a new doctor. I said, what are you talking about? I was just at the dentist last month. I didn't say anything. Turned out to be cancer, an oral rare cancer that only 4 in 1 million people a year are diagnosed with. So I'm writing, that was in 2023. So I'm writing about my first year after I said, my diagnosis and everything. And I'm really trying to do a lot for the Head and Neck Cancer Alliance.
Right on. We should
help people.
Amazing. I mean, I know it's hard to really be that personal in public and present yourself like that, but I appreciate that you're willing to do that so that people understand and
people understand.
Are inspired about how to deal with things like that if they have to.
Right. And feel confident going out and
how much life you have left going on.
It's like, how much wine you can keep drinking.
I'm just exhausted hearing all the things you're doing. This is embarrassing.
I would say cheers to Kelly.
Absolutely.
No, cheers to you too.
Kelly, thank you.
And I wanted to make sure because
be sure to sip it.
Yeah, we have to sip.
Well, thank you.
You two have done such a great job with this show. And
I hope we're still recording.
One of the things that you said recently, Alfredo, was when you two started this, you didn't expect people to come here. You had Eric Housley talk about, I can't even.
His daughter.
Elena.
I know.
Yeah.
I can talk to him, but when I me at Lavender, everybody meets everybody at Lavender Nail Salon.
Nice.
But I couldn't
you go
even.
There, don't you?
Stop. No.
Randy Petty?
You get all the gossip.
I don't, but clearly I should. We should do a podcast on that, John.
Yes.
But also the guy, Corona.
Yeah.
Yes. And, talking
all the
about.
name play.
Yeah. But you're right.
They're
But
talking about.
He was opening up about
did.
his family.
Yeah. I mean, that's incredible. The sacrifice that he made selling his business to concentrate on his son.
Selfless.
Right.
Well, and one of the things that we really kind of felt was foundational to what we were going to be doing when we first were talking about this was really offering opportunities to learn more about the people that we know.
Yes.
And live with around the valley. And we thought that this was something that wasn't happening.
I love it.
No, it's great. And I love John. I don't know if you remember
Don't be jealous. No, go ahead.
When I decided to start Napa Valley Noir, and you were the first person outside my little circle thing, Travis Stanley. Travis was in on it because Travis helped me come up with the idea and everything.
Good man.
But when I reached out to you and said, hey, can we get together? And you didn't know what I was going to run by you or what. We met down at the Fink. And I wasn't even really able at that time to articulate what I wanted. But you told me what a great idea it was and really encouraged me. So I thank you for that.
He's a good man. And in
You're
spite
welcome.
of everything I say.
You're doing all the heavy lifting now.
You mean so. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
All right, John, I thought Kelly was super fascinating. So I know you know her a little bit more. So tell me more.
She's such an impressive person. I have known her for many years when she was still at Alpha Omega And when she moved to Yountville, I really was trying to get her to join the Yountville Town Council, but she was so committed to so many personal projects. And I'm excited to see her launching Napa Valley Noir and really moving the needle for new experience and expanding to a broader audience for Napa.
Look, I thought what she talked about, just the personal touch, right, of texting the chef and, you know, trying to make sure that it's a memorable experience, that gets lost, right? And people bitch about price, and I get that. But there's so much that goes into it, John, like we saw today, of the behind the scenes work to create the magic in Napa Valley, not Sonoma, just Napa. And I give her credit. But I was also impressed, obviously, she talked about valuing diversity, right? And going after, the Black community. And I say that as a compliment, because Napa needs more of that. We need more intentional promotion within all segments of our community. And the fact that she was confident to say, I'm doing that and I'm gonna support it, right? Because Black people want to support Black people. I was proud of that. Like, that's America, right? Where we can all support each other, man. And I know that's maybe a deeper conversation, but I'm glad she brought it up, and she did it in such a way to be proud of.
Well, we've talked about wanting to be able to really get in depth and present people for who they are.
Yeah.
And Kelly gave us another opportunity for that. From the moment I met her, I was impressed with her, and it's been a lot of years now. I'm really proud of how she has lived her life to the fullest. She's had challenges, she's had opportunities, taken advantage of every single one of them. And, I really appreciate being able to call her a friend and just want to support her any way we can.
I'll just tell you, I don't know her mom, but her mom did an incredible job raising her. So cheers to that.